Hey, this is your boy Kenny Braswell with 5 Flow, 5 minutes of motivation and not much more. Back off of vacation, 5 Flow is fresh and we're ready for the next few weeks and the next few months. We got a lot of great topics for you. But right now, I want to deal with something that we are currently within. There are a lot of storms going on across the nation and in the Caribbean that we're being impacted by. We want to send our prayers and condolences out to the families of Hurricane Harvey in Houston, Texas, as well as all those that are being impacted currently by Hurricane Irma, particularly those in the Caribbean and in the Florida Keys. And then we have Hurricane Jose right on his heels. And so these three storms just kind of say that there's something we should be paying attention to. And with anything that's going on in our lives, we should at least learn some lessons from. And after I've been thinking about these storms, I got 5 things that I want to share with you that I think we should remember in a storm. Number 1, all storms don't manifest themselves in rain and wind. Sometimes storms come in other ways. We got a lot of chaos that's going on in our communities right now. There's a lot of unsettlement in our world and in our society. A lot of things that just don't sit right, don't feel right, it's not going right. And not only here in the U.S., but around the world, period. It just seems like there's a lot of chaos and drama going on. And so while we are focused and our attention currently is on the 3 storms that have come and that are coming and that are to come, there are other storms that we should be paying attention to as well, and we should be mindful of all kinds of storms. Number 2, sometimes in a storm, you have to take cover. And so whether or not you're in a storm that involves a hurricane or a cyclone, or whether or not your life is in chaos, your relationship is in chaos, your marriage is in chaos, sometimes in a storm, you just need to be quiet and you need to take cover, because sometimes the danger and the things that are swirling around that storm in your life is telling you to slow down, to sit down, to take a seat, to get back, to get ready and prepare yourself to exit when the storm is over. Now, that doesn't mean don't do anything. It just means that sometimes you just have to take some cover. You can't function continually in the midst of your storm. And so you have to do several different things, and one of those things is you have to take cover. The third thing I believe you have to remember in a storm is that you might have to sacrifice some things and some people. I've been watching the news and of people around the world and around this country that are refusing to evacuate their homes and refusing to evacuate their communities because they want to stay behind and save their home. I saw a couple that wanted to stay behind and save their boat. And so I think that in a storm, that some things you just have to sacrifice for your own safety and the safety of your family. And also in other storms that happen in your life, some things are sacrificial. Sometimes the storms come in your life to force you to sacrifice something, because that very thing that you're holding on to, that you think is the thing that you need in life to move in life, is the very thing that you need to let go. And sometimes in a storm, that's what it's trying to let you know, is that there's something in your life that I'm trying to tear you from and separate you from, and the only way that it's going to happen is within a storm. Number 4, sometimes the biggest danger is in things that you can't see. And so in life, sometimes we're very conscious and cognizant of those things that we can put our eyes on because we can fight those dangers. But sometimes dangers come to us in life and we can't see them. And in the way of these storms, when they talk about the high gust of wind and the constrained wind, wind is something you can't see unless it's throwing something at you. But wind is very dangerous. And sometimes we have to learn that there are things in life, there are things that come at us sometimes that we quite simply cannot see. And we need to be conscious that sometimes in a storm that we are going to be hit sometimes, not only by the things we can see, but we also are susceptible to get hit by the things that we can't see. The last thing I want to remind you about a storm is that sometimes bad things happen to good people for God's reason. And I know that there are going to be people that's going to want to curse God. There's going to be some people that's going to want to disconnect God. There are folks who are upset at Lakewood Church for not opening its doors in Harvey. There are people that are attacking the church. There are people that are attacking pastors. And it seems like every time we get into a storm, irregardless of the storm, the church is the first thing that we attack. Everybody has a role in disaster. We all have a role. And our first role is not to blame what we believe somebody else should be doing. Not that they should not be doing, but that should not be the first thing you think about, is to see what everybody else is not doing and call that into question. And so sometimes, like I said, bad things happen to good people for God's reason. And I know sometimes we don't want to accept that when we're in the midst of a storm, but when we're on the other side of the storm and our hindsight kicks in and we can look at why, as I talked to you before, why I had to let something go, or why I had to sacrifice something, or why I had to take cover. Oftentimes, why the bad thing has occurred will reveal itself on the other side of the storm. Sometimes we just have to have a little patience in the storm. Sometimes we have to have a little faith in the storm. And sometimes we just got to be quiet in the storm. And so this is Kenny Braswell with 5 Flow, 5 minutes of motivation and not much more. Make sure you check us out on our sister sites, blaze1radio.com, as well as Fatherhood Today TV. And you can check me out across my social media platforms. And as I always like to leave you, be kind to others as you're kind to yourself, or you might find yourself by yourself. Always shoot high for your goals, because even if you miss, you'll be amongst the stars. This is Kenny Braswell with 5 Flow. Peace out and God bless. Be safe out there.